Back with another storytime thing. I kind of realized that using Overwatch as a visual medium was probably not my best choice, mostly because I feel like I was a little too distracted by it. So I'm trying a different game, this time Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, which I really enjoy gameplay-wise. Storyline I'm not going to discuss because that's not what I'm after here. Ignore that. So for the sake of just something going on, I'm going to go to this first area and just, yeah, we'll spawn here. So, let's see, what story do I want to talk about this time? I do have actually have two stories that I do want to do over in Overwatch, but I need to actually set up for that with a couple, for that, so I'm not going to talk about those stories this time. Oh. Okay, wow, they are very talkative. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna completely mute their voices because that is really distracting. Oh. Well, this will be interesting. Okay. So, right, story. Blah, 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 blah. Crowd. This thing's powerful. God damn it, I don't know what to talk about. God, Black. I can't think of stories. Damn it, my head is just off today. Sorry. Give me a second to think here. Okay, for the sake of, yeah, this is my character in GGO here. Yes, I'm very much aware that he looks very similar to Spiegel, aka the really, really creepy guy who turned out to actually be Deathgun and was obsessed with Xenon. I am very much aware of this. This was not entirely intentional. Admittedly, I did actually like the Spiegel avatar design from the show. I just did not actually care for the character, so yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so Lack. Oh, okay, I have one. Sorry, it just took me a minute. So, I was actually in Boy Scouts for a number of years. I actually did earn Ingle Ring, that is a thing. And one of the things that, we did was, you know, obviously if anyone knows anything about Boy Scouts, there's different merit badges. One of which was, and I actually went to summer camp actually several years, and one of the things they did, it wasn't really a merit badge, but it wasn't really the activities, and it was actually tomahawk throwing. Yes, I actually got to do tomahawk throwing. It's actually really, really fun. Admittedly, that's probably scarier when I say that out loud. Things to remember. So yeah. Hold up. I hate those things. So this was an interesting thing. So we did the tomahawk throwing thing, and it was actually pretty cool. I really liked it. We did a few throwing test throws for a bit, And then I kind of did something they didn't expect. I know it probably sounds weird. So when I threw the tomahawk, it actually ended up landing handle first into the wood. And I wish I could show a photo, but because I'm streaming, I can't really do that, and that would be extremely distracting, so I'm not really having a way, not to mention I don't have the photo anymore. Stay still, you little buzzy thing. There it is. Oh, they saw me. They spotted me. Okay. Right, sorry. And they were genuinely kind of impressed with this, because I was like 13 at the time, something in that range. And bye. So I was young. They did not expect me to have the strength to do this. And one thing that they did kind of and then one thing they noticed was that the log I actually managed to land it into was a bit on the older, more rotted side. That may have explained how it happened. Still, but the fact that it happened at all was kind of impressive. So, yeah, that was a thing. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stick with. I'm actually gonna stick to stories like that, because that's like I forgot I did a lot of summer camp stuff. Right then. Sorry. I am getting really too focused on this. I should not be. I also... Okay, well, if you've noticed, I am being a sniper in this game, and I do have actual rifle retraining. That is a thing. Again, Boy Scouts. Yeah, for those who feel like Boy Scouts is kind of the goody-goody shoes thing, you gotta do some fun stuff. It can be really cool if you... it's one of those things that's like, I don't regret it, but I'm glad I'm out of it. I'm very much aware that's kind of a contradiction. So yeah, I actually earned the riflery merit badge, which literally should probably scare people, actually, now that I think about it. And one of the things I remember from doing that was I actually ended up... So as part of that, we have to do practice targets and that sort of thing, you know, blah, 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 blah. And one of the things that actually happened when I was using one of the practice targets was I actually ended up apparently shooting 2 shots into the exact same spot. Like, to the point where they realized that it was the difference between the 2 shots was almost impossible to notice. Like the second shot was only ever so slightly off of the first one. That was how close it was. And again, this kind of impressed the people at the camp. Also scared them a little bit. Yeah, I really wish I had longer stories for this. What else? Oh, okay, I have one that's a bit longer. Another one that happened when I was at summer camp was actually... Okay, so the camp I went to had a bad habit of always raining whenever we went there. And one year in particular, it was raining really bad, to the point where, like, mud was just everywhere. The roads were basically just the trails and everything were just nothing but mud. And what ended up happening was one of the other kids, not me, I cannot stress enough that it was not me. Can I get back here? Hold up, I want to make sure I get this thing. Oh my god, stop running! Why the hell is this thing so fast? Is it seriously running from me? Right, sorry. So it was really raining, and one of the other kids actually got stuck in the mud, like knee-deep, and he could not get himself out. And admittedly, I had... Keep in mind, the merit badges basically functioned like classes, so it was basically like school, but in a summer camp, and it was less boring. Yes, I'm aware of how that sounds out loud. And one of the other kids ended up getting stuck in the mud. I actually ended up remember passing him stuck in the mud, and at first I thought he was just... I didn't really kind of understand what the situation was. I just kind of walked on and just didn't really think about it that hard. And he turned out he was legitimately stuck, and the thing was, the adults for a while thought he was just messing around. They thought he was joking because this was kind of par for the course with him. And then when they realized that he wasn't, it kind of took, I think, I want to say 3 different adults, including my dad, to actually get him out of the mud safely without hurting him. And it was just kind of one of those things of like, wow, he very much could have been stuck there, and like they could have had to call the hospital or something. It was, yeah, it was really kind of stupid. And I kind of felt a little bit bad for just kind of leaving him there, but at the same time, it's like I had somewhere I needed to be. I also hated the rain because it was starting to rain at that point, and I was, you know, I'm not always the best person. I'm at no point do I say I'm a saint or anything. Good lord, what was Kirito at? Okay, Kirito's been leveling up right along with us. Good to know. Hello, Kureha. Oh, by the way, for those who know nothing about this game, Kureha is a character who gets introduced in this game. She is not from the anime at any point, at least as far as I know, and she's not from any of the movies. Also, so Kiri is my character, and Arya here is, okay, you basically need to create 2 characters in the game. One you control, one who's your support AI, and Arya is my support AI. So, yeah, just explaining that now for those who... And by the way, this is not major spoiler explanation here. This happens within like the first 10 minutes. Well, 10 minutes story-wise, that's not counting character creation time. Right, on to other stories. Let's see, what else? I'll do one more, then maybe probably stop. Let's see. Oh boy, big one. God damn it. Crap, there was a lot of them. Alright, what else? Where was I going with this? Other stories. Other stories. Black! God, my brain is just not cooperating today. Sorry, treasure box. These are always good to find. Alright, let's see. Other summer camp stories. I'm having to work with this. Okay, well, not summer camp. I did actually also, as part of Boy Scouts, I did go on a ski trip to Colorado. For the record, that is not where I live, just saying. So I took a ski trip to Colorado, and it was actually kind of the first time I encountered snow and actually could remember encountering snow. I technically saw snow once when I was really, really little, but I did not remember it. Okay, nothing else. And, like, I mean, I was, like, toddler age, like, baby. Was the first time I really saw snow, but I don't remember that. So it's like, going on the ski trip was the first time I actually saw snow and could actively remember it, and remember interacting with it. And honestly, that was so much fun to me. I absolutely loved it. I know that's such a thing to say, and really kind of probably gives away where the hell I am, but I'm not going to say anything more about that. There's guns. And so, one of the things I remember actually from that was, keep in mind, as part of the ski trip, we were technically signed up for skiing and snowboarding lessons, and I took up the snowboarding because, honestly, I felt like that was simpler to figure out than skiing. Skiing involves 2 legs, or 4 things at once, and snowboard only involves 1. I figured that was simpler to figure out. At least, that was my thought process. And honestly, I quickly realized I hated the idea of either. Neither was fun for me, and I just kind of didn't have an interest in continuing it. The thing about this was we did technically chip in to pay for the lessons, but at the same time, it was completely my prerogative on whether or not I acted on them. That was entirely my choice. There was no compulsion for me to go and do these lessons just because we paid for them. I mean, it's an obligation, but not a necessity. And I was a kid seeing snow basically for the first time, as far as I was concerned, and that was a lot more fun to me. So I couldn't really go off on my own, but I did stay near the snowboard training area, I guess, where it was kind of safe, where like a lot of the families were just hanging out and that sort of thing. And one of the things I remember was my actual Scoutmaster leader, right? You know, the guy who's in charge of everything. We're just, I'm not gonna give him a name here. I'll just call him the Scoutmaster for now. He ends up coming over and commenting about asking why I wasn't snowboarding. I said I didn't like it. I kept falling over. It's not fun. some explanations along those lines, because that was the truth of it. It wasn't fun for me. I didn't see a reason to continue doing it, and the point of the trip was to have fun. And he just kind of gave me this look of just complete and utter, like, I'd almost want to say scorn, but it wasn't quite that mean. It was just like, he seemed so confused by it. Like, I came for on the trip for that reason, and now I'm not staying on the trip for that same reason. And he just seemed so befuddled by this, and I'm honestly not sure why. I mean, I get why, but I'm still not sure why this seemed to confuse him as much as it did. God, I move slow. Okay, Kureha, I get it. You use a goddamn rocket launcher. So yeah, he just seems so confused by the simple fact that I had more fun playing in the snow than actually trying to learn to snowboard. Which was the truth of the matter. And honestly, that was probably the only negative part about it. He did kind of leave me alone after my explanation. He kind of, like, I think on some level he kind of thought about and understood what I was my point there, and so he kind of left it alone. But one thing I do remember is, like, I basically ended up, like, constructing a snow fort, but we weren't really having a snowball fight. It was just fun for me to dig and build with the snow. It just was. And I don't know. I don't know if that makes me sound really weird or not. I don't think so. I mean, it sounds fairly sensible in my opinion. But yeah. And I remember playing with some other kids in the snow, locals, and they weren't from the scout troop. Some of the other scouts did and get get in the snow and play around with me and everything. But it's like, for the most part, it was with the other kids, and it was a lot of fun. I remember that. So yeah, I really don't know where else to go with this. This was kind of a bleh. I just. Okay, admittedly, I'm kind of bored, so I'm just trying to, like, find something to do, and this is about all I have to go with here. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a quick one, so I'm just going to probably stop here and just say good night for now. Again, I don't think I got much response on the last one. I'm hoping that by tagging the video the way I did, this might get more attention. I'm hoping. And yes, I'm just doing this to see if people like this idea, and if they do, tell me if you think this format's a good idea. Tell me if you think I should try and reenact some of these situations as best I can. Like, I was thinking of trying to use Overwatch for some of them. I have an idea on how to make that work, but I kind of need to, like, test it out with some friends first. Like, I mean, not recording wise, like, I just need to test it out with them. Blah blah blah, I'm rambling. So yeah, I just kind of want to test it out with them for a bit and see how that goes. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with this. So yeah, if you guys think this is a good format, if you think trying to reenact the scenes using a game is a good idea, feel free to comment below. If you guys have any interesting summer camp stories, let's try and keep the theme going here. Preferably nothing that involved anything illegal. I feel like I should say that, even though it should go without saying, but I feel like I should mention that now. Like, if you have any interesting stories like that, feel free to comment below, share them, and again, for those who missed the last time I did this, I'll read them later, and if I see one that I like, I may bring it up in the next one, and hopefully that turns out well. So again, as always, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and I will... Oh, and if you think this is a good format, if you don't think this is a good format, if you would like to see the reenactment thing, do politely say so in the comments. I prefer politeness. Rudeness, I ignore. Just saying that now. Like, if you just start saying, oh, this is crap, this is shitty, what are you doing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, don't tell me stuff like that. That's not what I need here to figure out if this is a good idea. I need polite and constructive criticism and good not positive feedback, but good feedback that tells me whether or not this is a good idea. Again, rambling. Sorry. So again, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. This is Kirisai, signing off.